Hey everyone, and welcome to Pioneer Middle School Athletics Podcast, the podcast made by students for students.
And I'm your co-host, Everett.
And I'm Noah. Today's episode is a part of our Pioneer Athletics series, where we sit down with some of your favorite sports athletes from Pioneer, and learn what they're like inside and outside of school and their sport.
And today we have someone very special on the baseball team, Gregory Harmon Jr.
Mr. Gregory, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Noah and Everett. It's my first time on a podcast, and I'm really excited.
All right, let's get into the first question. What made you want to do baseball?
One day I was just watching TV. My dad put on a Mets game, and I asked my dad, "What is the sport called?" And he was like, "Baseball." And I was like, "Oh, Dad, I'm very interested in this." He was like, "Do you want me to start training you?" And I was like, "Yes." And then after that, he just started training me for like a few years.
Pretty cool that your dad taught you how to play baseball. Do you have any friends on the team?
Yeah, I have Noah, Nixon, Wyatt, Carter, Liam, and a few others.
Are you varsity or JV, and do you feel like you got the correct placement?
I was on JV, and I feel like that I got the placement where I could get the most playing time.
Cool, that's good. Do you feel that people who got cut deserve to get cut?
It's not my partake in who gets cut and who doesn't. I feel like a lot of people on the team, not a lot, but a few amount should have made the team. But whatever the coach was looking for, I feel like he got what he was looking for.
Yeah.
What's your favorite position to play, and what's the scariest one?
I think my favorite is first base, and I feel like some scary ones is third and short because, especially in MLB, the ball gets hit very hard to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have very little reaction time to even get the ball.
Let's get more important stuff. What is your life story to baseball?
My life story in baseball is when I was younger one day, I was sitting with my parents and my auntie, and she asked me, what sport do I feel like playing in the future? And I was like, baseball. And she was like, okay, whatever sport you want to do, just continue doing it. And I was like, I will. And then 2 years later, after I started playing it, she ended up dying. And after that, I just decided to keep going on with that sport until then.
What challenges have you faced to get to where you are?
A lot of people didn't believe that I would actually continue baseball after all those years, and I just kept going to prove people wrong.
Good. That's a good goal. Have you ever won a tournament? And for our last question, have you ever won a tournament, and how did it feel?
Yeah, a few years ago, when I played for a travel ball team, we did win championships. And then after that, it was a very good feeling. I feel like I was accomplished, and I did get most valuable player of the game too.
Good. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the first episode, and stay tuned for the next. Hey everyone, and welcome to Pioneer Middle School Athletics Podcast, Episode 2.
And I'm your co-host, Everett.
And I'm Noah. Today we have a very special person to interview. His name is Josh Lally.
Hey y'all, I'm super excited to be on this podcast.
All right, let's get into the first question. What made you want to do wrestling?
So I'm a new kid at this school, and I tried to figure out some ways to make some new friends and just doing the sport I love. So I decided to join wrestling and see what it had to offer me.
Very cool. Are you varsity or JV, and how does it work to get varsity or JV?
So I was varsity lineup the whole season, but it's not varsity whole season or JV the whole season. It's depending on your skill that they see you throughout the season. So one match you could be on the varsity lineup, and one match you could have been on the JV lineup. It all depends on who you're facing and how good you are.
Do you have any friends on the team?
I mean, probably my best friend that was on the team was either Tucker, Wyatt, or Noah.
Now let's get into more juicy stuff. Tell me, what's your life story with wrestling?
So when I was living in Kansas around the age of 8, my dad signed me up for this wrestling camp because I was a little lazy as a kid, only played football, and took a rest during the off season.
Very interesting.
And when I was at the wrestling camp, one of the counselors/coaches saw how good I was and asked me to join his team, and I've been wrestling ever since.
What challenges have you faced during wrestling?
Probably the injuries, and every weight class that you go up, the opponents get better, so you need to get better. And then there's also the fact of actual injuries.
Thank you for being here. Finally, our last question. Have you ever had a match that is ride solely upon you to win? Like, if you don't, your team loses a match.
Yes, actually. I was wrestling for our local wrestling group back in Kentucky, where I just moved from.
Cool.
The team was called Meade County, and we made it to the state championships. I was the last match, and it was determined if our team went home with gold.
Oh, wow.
And he was up by 3. And the score was 9-6 points. He got all the back points. And last inning or
Match or whatever.
last part of the match.
Quarter.
I end up getting on his back and pin him with like 10 seconds to spare.
Good job. Well, thank you, everyone, for being here. Especially thank you, Josh. And thank you, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Pioneer Middle School Athletics Podcast.
And I'm, of course, your co-host, Everett.
And I'm Noah. Today, we have a very special person here, Jasmine Ortega.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right,
Yep.
let's get into the first question. What made you want to do volleyball?
Well, what made me want to do volleyball is that when I was in 4th grade, my mom wanted me to start playing a sport because I used to not play any sports. So she signed me up for volleyball, and that's kind of how I started playing.
Cool. Are you varsity or JV, and do you feel you got the correct placement?
Well, for volleyball this year, I made C team because of an injury.
Ow.
Have you made any friends on the team?
Yes, I have. I know almost all of the JV and varsity people.
Very cool. Let's get into more juicy stuff. What's your life story with volleyball?
What do you mean?
When have you started playing volleyball, and what challenges have you faced?
Okay, so what challenges I've faced in volleyball is because since volleyball is mostly played by people who are tall, I'm not exactly tall, so I'm 4'11", and basically sometimes it's just harder. It would be harder for me to block because when you're playing in the front line, you have to jump up. Since I'm shorter, that causes more of a challenge, if that makes sense.
Does your sports do cuts?
Yes.
Nice. Do you feel that people who got cut deserved to get cut, and the people who made the team deserve to make the team?
Yeah, I think so, because everybody who made the team put in the effort, and their effort paid off with them making the team.
Have you ever been to a tournament or played in one of those?
Like a tournament? For not school?
For anything, any season?
No, I have not.
Well, if you haven't, how do you imagine a tournament would go if you did a tournament?
Well, a tournament would probably be 2 to 3 games back to back. And since this is middle school, we wouldn't be playing all 5 sets. We only play 3.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for listening.
That wraps up this episode of Pioneer Middle School Athletic Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our discussion on Pioneer Athletics.
We want to say a big thank you to all of our guests, Jasmine Ortega, Josh Lally, and Gregory Harmon, for sharing insights with us today. And of course, thank you for everyone watching or listening, for tuning in.
We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed today's show, you can contact us on social media, letting us know your thoughts, questions, or topics for future episodes. Until next time, this is Everett Lillard and Noah Pace signing off.